اون نمیدونست.
اسلحه رو بده من دیوید. دیوید اگه اونو بکشی اون برنده میشه. ای خدا! ای خدا! آی!
How do you find emotion? Finding emotion is basically a couple of tricks, and then there's just doing it naturally. So let's talk about the tricks first. I'm going to guess that if you have any experience with acting at all, you've heard the term sense memory. Sense memory. What that is a technique by which, if you're in a scene, in a moment where you have to find emotion, cry, what you do is you recall something maybe that happened in your past, some sensitivity or something from which to draw that emotion. I'll give you a good example of that. A couple years ago, I directed Allison's Choice, and I remember the lead actress. I just needed a moment for her to really break down a little bit. And, you know, we did the scene a couple times, and she was doing well, but it was, I knew there was more there. So I went up to her, Chanel was her name. And in the scene, in the actual scene she was reenacting, she's on the phone with her boyfriend. And he's saying things, and she's getting the message that he's distancing himself from her on this phone conversation. And so I went up to her and I said, Chanel, I said, have you ever had a guy just do you wrong? And she just rolled her eyes. Oh yeah, I had a guy do me wrong. And I said, that's what's going on here. I want you to remember that experience. I said, what was like the guy's name? And she said, well, there were a couple of them, but one in particular. I go, what's his name? She mentioned his name. And I said, tell me a little bit about him. And she was talking about him a little bit. And I could see as she was talking about him, you know, emotion was stirring in her. And as she was talking, I moved her over to her mark. And I went back behind the camera and I said, action. And the scene was magic. It was magic. That's a great example of sense memory.